you know, Spaceballs might be right alongside there. All right, there's a race going on. There's a race going on. And Riot, I heard they've got some amazing fashion going on tonight for the birthday party. Absolutely loving it.
Well, so again, that was where this conversation started. You can see the afro right in the middle there on Christina Grossman, as she is certainly, this was not a great birthday gift for her, Climbers Gambit. She'd much rather be, I would think, although Christina Grossman has come a long way as an all-around rider. Her coach, Josh Lipka, has done a tremendous job of helping her develop her skill set. She's now a true triple threat. She can do it all on the bike. So not going to say that she's useless on the climb, but there are some riders that this is what they live for. No doubt. Although, Nathan, when you look at this field, so we saw Rachel Elliott put on yet another master class out here today. I didn't see the finishing time, Nathan, but Rachel Elliott won by over a minute for the second week in a row in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. A very competitive division. I mean, I don't know that any one of our community groups would be able to hold back Rachel Elliott today.
Yeah, definitely.
Hard to argue.
And it'd be interesting to see the times as they come out here on this course in comparison.
Yeah, like comparing your time to Leonard Dougal's.
Hopefully it's not that bad. All right, now we go. Here we go. Open it up. It's going to be Ericard here from the men's side of things in America's East. OTR over the top. Can he hold on? No. He gets rolled at the line. Josh Lipka, I think, from Velocio. Might have been taking that one down. We'll have to go back to that replay, but what a kick there at the last moment. You've been watching the broadcast, I think, because that was a slingshot and a half there from Mr. Lipka. As now it's going to be about molding this back together in just a second. But what a kick here. And this is always a danger spot if you slingshot off the front. Because right there, that cobbles, you actually slow down on those cobbles. You can kind of punch through here. Looks like it's going to come back together pretty easily. But I always wonder if somebody wants to give it a little bit of go. Just noticed Jordan Shaney tonight. That's a big name. Watch out. I know why he showed up. You know exactly why Jordan showed up tonight.
World's prep?
I mean, well, he's about as climber gets. I mean, this guy wants to go full gas over the top of the mountain. That's why he showed up.
Yeah, a very talented athlete, no doubt. In real life, he's got real credentials. Jordan Shane is a Canadian living over on the West Coast, British Columbia, who we've got more to hear from him. Quick question for you, Nathan. How much do you think it would matter having a coach that also understands esports, if you're specializing in esports racing, not just an in-real-life coach, but someone who gets what you're doing here in this specific discipline? Because this is some specialist-style racing.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody tried to...
Can't hurt, right?
Well, I mean, I would go as far as, like, okay, I'm a mountain biker, right? And if I tried, and I'm pretty purely mountain biker, like I can jump into a crit, and I've been practicing, I do a lot of road training. I could jump into a road race and do pretty well, but you put me on the track, I don't have a freaking clue, like no clue. like what,
sure.
Huh? And
it's got a water
it's maybe not quite that far, but it's getting like halfway there in that kind of comparison. Like, what are you even doing? Like, do you have any clue what we're up to at all? It's like maybe even 3/4 of the way there, trying to go from me being a mountain biker over to the track. It's a pretty far leap that you're going to need a coach who knows what's happening here in this virtual world. You can't just jump into a virtual world and think that it's anything. Chasing pixels is another world. That's just the reality of it.
I agree. And what you were saying about mountain biking, back in the day, a little before your time, Nathan, there used to be all-star mountain bike teams that would show up at road races, like Redlands would have Tinker Juarez and John Tomac would jump on a road team, a combine team, and race. They did just fine. If you've got the engine, you can go from mountain to road. You just can't go from road to mountain, to tell you the truth. Not that going from mountain to road is ideal. But you can definitely pull it off, but you can't pull off going from being a road cyclist.
I stole a couple. I'd never done a road race, really. I never showed up to any of them for WCA, and stole a couple state champion jerseys.
Crit,
just showed up and did a road race. It happened to be state champs. I was like, oh, I got a jersey. But so I think going over from MTB to road. Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Good
That
for you.
actually
But,
happened.
yeah,
That actually happened. So I think the MTB to road is a little easier than over to crit is a little bit more because that's gets really
it's interesting.
technical.
When you're going from mountain bike to road, the problem isn't physical ability; it's understanding the tactics and what these guys are trying to do to you here.
100%.
You have to
It was a really hard
and-
course
and-
too. That's why it was in my favor. Like it
Right,
was just
right.
a
The harder the
really,
course,
really
the better
hard
for
course.
someone. It's funny. The harder the course, the better it is for someone who knows nothing about road racing.
Exactly. It was exactly. It just ended up being 3 guys. Okay, I'll go. Like sounds good,
Right.
kind of a thing. So,
And it
I
really
was
becomes
attacking
kind of,
way too much. I wasted so much energy in that race. Speaking of not wasting
as they would
energy,
say,
Laura Perry on the front here. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry,
you
I
could
just
have
want
won
to make
that
sure.
race twice, as they say, right? He attacked so many times. So back there, well, same thing with Laura Perry. She's been very aggressive out here. Let me hit a couple bullet points for you. The power-ups today. Well, the feather, the lightweight power-up, that's the key. If you've got that, it's going to come into play in that last climb in a major way. Also out here today, we've got the burrito and that anvil, which adds 50 kilograms to your weight for 30 seconds. Make sure you
Is
use
it
that
50?
at the right
Is it
time.
50?
5?
That is
That's what we were
huge.
told.
That is
Yeah.
insane amount
So-
of holy.
They say it's like adding a Kolchinsky to you. That's what. So,
Laura Perry now on the attack. She's going bottom to top. This usually doesn't end up working out. Will she be able to make this happen? It's always a really brave move, maybe forcing some of the chase. Elliott says no. It looks like perhaps it's just going to be a sprint of attrition rather than a jump away from a pack that carries you to the line. Cameron, it looks like, able to take third with Riot there across the line, but it's carrying Elliott from WLC, and then Esquada's there as well. WLC dominates today. I think
big.
they're looking to put an upset into the Riot train that's been on top of things as of late.
Well, and Riot's been dominating in this division since get-go of Season 1. So this is really what we've seen here in Season 5 is teams like Wahoo have stepped up and taken the challenge. And this is one of the first times that I really remember them putting Riot on the back foot out here. So if you're into bike racing in a competitive field, this is a good moment here. If you're Riot, this is where you need to stand up and squash the rebellion.
Look at this helicopter view here. Look at all of the scattered bikes everywhere across this thing. I mean, just a moment, that was quite the telling story there. Very small group, 4 seconds back. Not even howling off the back here. They must have really punched bottom to top when it comes to that Titans Grove reverse here.
Well,
Henderson,
that is surprising.
Bishop, Sarah
We've seen
Bishop.
it all day.
This is an
Just some
athlete
big
who's
names
on my radar recently, only because I was racing in the TTT in zone whatever 19 or whatever whatever OTR does that I do with Hayes. It's like middle, like I think it's like 8:30 p.m. It's the last one of the day, and I'm like listening in the background, like who's this woman that's in our Discord, like yelling things? What's going on? Like, and I'm like, is there a woman on our team right now? Like, what the heck? And no, I raced with her husband, and she's in the background yelling at her teammates to get things moving or whatever. She was on her 3rd team time trial for her Thursday TTT day. This lady is a maniac. She is bananas for sure. I mean, she must have like 50 bananas a day. Like,
Where do they live? You know where they are?
it's gotta be. It's West Coast. I'm pretty sure it's West Coast. And the Bishop family, absolutely awesome. Top endurance athlete, longer endurance. Pretty sure tries and marathons, kinds of a thing. But definitely one to watch out for. I think on this climb actually because of that background, very FTP-ish type rider.
Well, good. That's some nice background, and certainly you've exposed her to be a rider to watch now for everyone. Speaking of great riders, there's Kristen Yax. Look at this group. They're going to come together here, doing some hard work. And I always say, but when you get dropped,
keep it safe. Are we bringing in Lord of the Rings now too? What's going on? You know that reference, Dave?
Well, I'm aware of Lord of the Rings, and I'm not sure exactly what we're talking about. The Schmeagol? Is that what we're...
Schmeagol. Keep it secret. Keep it safe, yeah. Anyway.
He's worried about people finding his ring.
The ring,
is the
exactly.
issue. Right.
They've got one ring to rule them all in this front pack right now. That one didn't
I
work
hate
out
to say
as bad
it.
as
You're
I
probably
wanted
gonna,
it to.
You're going to think I'm a creep, but I felt bad for Schmiegel.
No, you should.
You
should. He's in total bondage. Everybody should feel bad for Schmiegel.
He's got dealt a really
We're going to go into
crappy
philosophy.
hand.
We're going into philosophy now about why you should feel bad for Schmiegel and the bondage he had with the ring of power. Oh my gosh! All right, Grossman made the front
another
pack,
show.
It looks like, and this is a really good position for Grossman to be in actually because she has made it so that
like
she
I
has
said,
a ton of time now on anybody that might be able to outclimb her from behind.
She has definitely moved on from being a air quotes sprinter into a rouleur puncher all around type rider. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah,
it's not fair to pigeonhole her as just a sprinter now. Her abilities have surpassed that. This is going to.
I get that Charlie Day thing a lot. The last couple of years, I appreciate the comparison. I hope I'm even half as funny as that guy happens to be the over in the chat on YouTube here. But it looks like we did make the catch, and Bishop will be involved at the start of this climb.
Well, let's take a look at the inventory here because Riot's going to bring 2 back up into this front group to fully stock the shelves now. Same thing for Wahoo. Is that true? Do they have their entire team up here? Aeonian's going to be close as well now. I think Aeonian's got all 5 back. Yes, they do. Does Wahoo have 5, Nathan? Sure. So taking a look right now, Nathan will be right back as we're kind of looking at this front group as these 2 groups do merge. Let's talk about what we've got coming up because when you see James Barnes is in chat right now, he's one of the classiest riders and certainly just an all-around great guy who happens to be one of a dominant forces that we've had in the ZRL in Premier. And James is saying that this is the toughest race that we've done. And the reason why is the back half of this race. Well, actually, the way you race the front half to lead into the back 9 is absolutely the story of the day. It's not long in duration. It's only going to be, for these women, it'll be sub 50 minutes. But what you go through with 1,000 feet of climbing, coming in a 6 kilometer, I guess I'm mixing my metric and English, but you're going to see about 500 meters, 600 meters of climbing in a 6K sector. It doesn't climb right to the finish line. It flattens out downhill. It kind of rolls to the finish. But what you see is insane how deep the riders have been digging. It basically sits at 8, 9, even up to 13% on that climb.
Let's take a quick look at the sprint from earlier. I did promise that we would show what played out there, and there was some hard work for it, so let's take a quick look at how that went down. This is the women's sprint. As it did open up, it was Champagne from the WTRL sisters trying to have some sort of an impact from the front of the race. Henderson there from Aeonian, followed up by, it's going to be Stephanie Clark from ATP, who's been an amazing sprinter as of recently. Aeonian on the front, looking to hold it down, unable to do so, and it's going to be Cassandra Rush. Crushing it with, I believe, Katrina Weiss coming on through. That was the situation there. And then we had earlier in for the men's Ericart, as we did see, jumping in, but no, Lipka punches it to the, let's think, I don't know, did Lipka get that? Let's look at a replay here. And I think he did.
I'm going to say, right, I mean, back-end API will tell the story, but I'm going to say, yeah, it's a little tough. That angle makes it really hard to tell because you're not directly on the finish.
I think you took it.
I do too.
Yeah, so I think we're going to take that one.
Let's see what the Russian judge says, and we'll have a quorum. So we need a third. You need 2 out of 3.
I don't even know who the Russian judge is.
A fictional third person. Right. So,
making people up
I heard Guelph the other day for the first time. Now that I'm Guelph savvy, I heard the Royal City of Canada, Guelph, came up in the news, right near Toronto. So Guelph is not that far from the United States, actually.
Look at these guys. Full gas now. They're into their sprint, their second one on the men's side of things. And we'll take a look at the points here in just a moment. There's going to be Chin. And,
there's no arch, by the way. Just a line.
No arch. No arch. You just get a line. All we get is chalk here on the broadcast. So, it's, you know, we're
hastily put together chalk line.
Yeah, we just throw the chalk out there. More Scumble Kilborn. Ripka's climbing good today for the sprints. Look at this from Velocio. Wonder if he's kind of throwing it all out here. You know, early on, to grab as many points as he possibly can, kind of a thing. Or I wonder if he's going to have some climbing legs. It'll be interesting to see. Jordan's really well established here. I'd be sitting in if I were Jordan, waiting. Look at 162, 161. I don't think he's put anything on the table just as of yet.
Speaking of Velocio, how about that ride that Kevin Bouchard-Hall had? Top 10. I think he was 8th at the finish. And that was a big step up as we get ready for the World Championships coming up on the 26th. So we are less than 2 weeks away from the biggest day in esports racing. I'm incredibly excited for this. Jason Osborne is back. I was just doing some voiceover stuff, and they're highlighting the fact that he's back to defend his title. So we haven't really.
Was there anything? Has he been racing? He's been doing some ZWIFT stuff?
No, I haven't seen him. So
I haven't seen him.
I'm going to be a little surprised if over the last year esports hasn't come far enough that unless. Well, you know what though? Listening to Kevin Bouchard's podcast, he does ZWIFT. And he might race and we don't know about it. Because you'll see he's got a lot of ZWIFT KOMs. He held Alp to ZWIFT KOM. So, yeah, he might ZWIFT race more than I think, because my mindset there, probably similar to you, is that esports has become so specialized. Unless you do this.
Jason Osborne has the Alp to ZWIFT KOM. Is that real?
That's what I thought I heard Kevin say in his podcast.
Wow. He's not a 1 minute, 2 minute power guy anymore. If he's got the Alp to ZWIFT as well, that is, because those are two very different. Winning the World Championships last year on a forward KLM is a completely different fitness type.
Well,
than
an Olympic
Alp to ZWIFT.
He's an Olympic gold medal winner. He's an endurance sport Olympic gold medal winner.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's rowing or skating, cross-country skiing, cycling. Anyone who can win an Olympic gold medal in an event like that has got a very special cardiovascular system. How could you argue that? I mean,
but I mean, you've got to really train it to get those kind of.
Okay. And work ethic and talent, and yeah, I mean, absolutely. But you understand my point, I'm sure. Though esports requires a dedication, and I haven't seen many athletes that are so talented physically that they can show up and not know how to play the game and still win. And I don't know that you could do that anymore.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'm not sure that's what we were talking about earlier in EMEA about we are going to see. Oh no! What just happened? WOC, their strongest climber. That's Escueda. What happened? I mean, it's not on screen here. 1 second, guys. Escueda just all of a sudden on the women's race here. Apologies, but I just noticed it on my screen. Karina, this is literally their strongest climber, I think, completely full-on dropout. Oh, man. That is, and I think she's going to be fine, but that is a big, what you want at this point is to be completely, like, fresh coming into the bottom of
how
this.
She's doing 6.1 watts per kilo.
175 already? You want that heart rate 20 to 30 beats lower right now.
I agree. That's a bummer. Is she going to be talented enough to just overcome this and make the front selection? Well, might as well keep going here now.
Just roll right through. Just roll right through, Karina. Don't even wait up. Use that speed.
What? That right there, Nathan, that is a big tell. If you're a coach or a selector or a director, an athlete with that mindset, I love it. She fought back, and now the reality of these ladies are hitting out. Andiamo, Karina. Keep it going here. So Escueda, unfortunately, I'm guessing some kind of a technical glitch. Just stay in the wheels for a bit here.
It looks like she's good to go at this point. See if she can recover that heart rate a little bit. Now, position is very, very important when it comes
Hang it loose is Catherine Monks.
if she can come across here and stay in that top 10, find the wheels over the top of the bridge, I think she can recover from that. Because the climb, when it comes to who's who and who's going to make it, doesn't start until after the bridge. This is just the initial scatterings that actually happen on this race course.
So what you're going to see is the first thing that happens here is the selection happens. So over this next 200 meters, the front group is forming. It's going to be huge today. Now an attack. So look how steep it gets here, up to 13% briefly. As this is that OSS. We were joking about that. Only the strong survive. Well, this is the moment. Meet the moment, as they say. Huge conga line going on out here, though. We haven't really seen this much. So, Laura Perry still, is Laura Perry the very front? Yes, she is. So,
yeah, she is.
Laura Perry's
points. Crush it to her with 29. This is huge for WLC right now. There.
Lieberman, Elliott, Cameron, the names you'd expect. Hey, how about Escueda? Okay, sure. Good job, Karina Escueda, or Wahoo Nicole, to be up here now after what she went through a couple of minutes ago. It's huge, actually. She's a big talent.
I mean, I actually was looking at her as one to win today. Her and Megan Rathwell.
Oh my gosh.
It was my expectation. Alongside of maybe Laura Perry. Yeah, but I mean, Rathwell's doing what I was fully expecting from her.
I'm going with Lieberman today.
You think so?
Like
really?
Okay. Yeah. But those are good choices. Really good. Unfortunately, Karina got dealt a bum hand there that she dumped and was able to replace with much better cards. But you wonder what this Megan Rathwell, another big talent out here. What Riot has, it's been interesting. Over the last year, Riot has been solidly on top. They've watched the other teams get better and better, Nathan, to the point now where they're really being challenged.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. They definitely are gonna. They definitely aren't able to just show up. They can't just show up and say we've just got this domination.
Nail it in.
Take it, take it easy. We're gonna be able to play, almost to the point that they could practice stuff. Right? It's at that point where you're not going to be able to really experience. Although Anna Russell, from her own, she's told me she just likes to throw, the Hail Mary sometimes. So I would watch out. She always, whenever Anna Russell's in the driver's seat, that whiteboard move is going to be coming out. Perry here, what a day for her. 4-9 now. It's going to be Cameron now coming on through too. Riot still involved. This is a WLC versus Riot situation, it looks like.
Throw in a little ATP. Little honey for you, because Rachel's still here.
I'm still using the honey dip. I still have my own garden this morning.
I love it. Thank you, Jim Withers. Champagne is still there. The Les Watts
I didn't put any champagne in there.
No. Well, we haven't had anyone sent us champagne yet. We've had affogatos show up at your door.
We're supposed to ask for alcohol, but...
Is that in our contract? I didn't look.
I didn't actually look. No, me neither. I'm not even sure about what YouTube thinks of that. But
well, to be clear, we're not. But we are asking for affogatos.
Yeah. Affogatos are great, except for
yes.
Yeah.
Leave it at that. Yeah. All right, back in with the racing now. As the men are going to be hitting the climb not too far off the limit already, deep into it. You can see the damage being done. We're joking about Champagne. Well, Champagne is one of the top riders in the ZRL these days. She has really made her mark, sitting right behind Laura Perry out here. I believe, I'm going to have to look it up. Escuela means school in Spanish. I'm going to check. But right now, Karina is taking us to school. What an effort she's making. So basically coming back from a virtual flat tire at the bottom of the climb. Beautiful.
That straight line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders, all spread across the road there. 181 beats per minute currently. Cameron now coming to the front. Solid effort. 5-2. Riot taking over. It's going to be
I was close.
right alongside.
I was close. It's Escueda. is school. Or excuse me, escuela is
Escuela.
school.
Escuela
Right.
would be...
Small school, like burrito. Riots is the team that is. Are they going to take back over, Nathan? I saw. Did Anna Russell wave goodbye earlier? I think so.
She went backwards. It looks like. Not sure where Anna is. Anna's sitting down around 28th at this point, looking to chase down the crowds and galloping the Spain rider.
Anna having just given birth to her third child, 4 months ago. I wonder how many women racing in this field are moms.
That's a great question.
Half is a good guess, actually. What's your guess, Nathan?
I don't know if I even want to do that. Quarter. I would say a quarter.
Okay, so not half. All right, that's the over/under is half, as set by me. Right.
Taking a look here, the ladies now get a little bit more focused because we do see Kristen Yax looking to try and make a rallying effort to get back on terms with this front group. You were right about Lieberman being involved because she came back. She was not really, she was kind of fading off the back here. MJ there from Watt Sisters also grabbing the wheel of MJ. Rachel Lieberman.
Now
steady here now. Is
up.
this going to be one of these situations that we saw earlier, or is Lieberman going to stay? Because earlier we saw the Italians patiently not playing their cards until that last quarter, and then bam, Italian, took down that EMEA. So we'll see if that's similar here. I have a feeling maybe she's just riding her own race, and this is a rider who really knows where her longer efforts maximum is, where she needs to temper and where she needs to go. It looks like she's going to ride her own race 3 seconds up the road now.
Yeah, we'll see if she comes back and finds her rhythm out there as going back to the very, very front. What a ride so Cameron, Elliott, Escueda, Rathwell, Lieberman just getting trailed out of this group. This is where that was the men actually. But this season now you can see that Riot is still a dominant force, but they don't ever back down. Aeonian is sitting second here, just 2 points ahead of Wahoo Lafole.
This is the day for Wahoo because of that, though. Aeonian, are they going to stack the top 10? If Wahoo can go 1-2, this is a big day for them to try and make up some points in the second half of the season. 85-87, and get into a top 2 situation.
The way the points work out here, though, they might, even with a great ride, only move 1 point ahead.
Yeah, we have to see where Aeonian are at. That's the question, right?
Yeah.
I'm only seeing Henderson way back here in 21st, alongside Katrina Weiss here in 14th.
See, when you have a good day
and Yax
out here in CRL,
in 7th.
Sorry, when you have a good day in CRL and you're trying to make up ground on a team, you need other teams to beat them as well, to move, to get that bigger gap and maximize the points difference out there. You can crush them, but finish with a bunch of riders in front of them. But if they're still finishing ahead of all the other teams, you only move forward a little bit.
Taking a look here real quickly at the men's race as they're just starting their climb. I want to highlight that Kirk Cameron is on the full-on attack though on the right-hand side here. 5 watts per kilogram real quick. Karina Escueda trying to follow from WLC. Amazing ride by the 2 WLC riders. Rathwell is Rathwell just hanging on? 177, I think she's got something. I have a feeling that Cameron's going on the attack while Rathwell perhaps is waiting for her moment to pounce on the men's side of things. Though it is into the bridge section. The initial breaks have been made, and it looks like it's going to be Wheel 5 alongside of some restarts here going full on backwards. And we've got a top 25 or 26. Who are going to be the initiators, though, at the front? And Shane is here. 151 beats per minute. Are you kidding me?
That's Ollie Dowd is
telling you, this guy, this is the guy to watch out for today. I think for me, Jordan Shane, there it is. 8 watts per
Jonathan.
kilogram. There's the kick because he knows Noah is going.
Well, this is it. You're going to start seeing the big hitters coming to the front now, attacking out of this front group. It looks like things were relatively calm up until about 30 seconds ago. So Noah Balch always going to be a rider to watch. You mentioned Jordan Shane. Here he goes. Haney, Grosicki, Crocker, Jamnicki of the Royal City, and Lewinstra. Watch out for Lewinstra. I believe that's Jonathan Jacob for the next team out here racing. Wouterswart. Woof, Gagnon. All right. These are the Lions of the ZRL squaring off on the toughest climb we have seen in league history. Right here, right now, Nathan. We're going to find out who's got the legs.
So in the back of my mind, I'm just kind of like watching Jordan a lot today because I haven't heard much from him in a while. And when an athlete like this is really quiet for a while, I go...
Jordan Shane.
Yeah. I go, what has he been up to? And what's the current goals? And I'm like, is he going to pull a 2 goals here? Is he going to challenge that kind of a time? We're looking for... And if he is, it needs to be a 13-minute climb, right? That's what we're looking at. But he is that level of an athlete.
Well, yeah.
When it comes to pure climber, I don't think he's as good on the flats. I don't think he's as good on the punch. When it comes to, like, this is his
So
wheelhouse,
Leonard
though.
Tugels, if you look at Leonard Tugels on Zwift Power, his 20-minute is 6.7 watts per kilo.
Yeah,
Jordan Shane, I'm going to look. But
yeah, I don't know what Jordan is. That's a good question.
I bet you Jordan is like, well, I'm not going to bet on it, but 6.7 is the highest by far that we saw yesterday in Premier. And I'll doubt that Jordan is in that neighborhood.
Priority T in EMEA, what did they do? They did, yeah, you're right, 20 minutes. Noah Balch actually is at 6.0 watts per kilogram. So these boys, no, they're not up in the 6.7s. You're right about that. We'll see what Jordan ends up out here today. Maybe overestimating, but we'll see what
Still, I mean, your point is good. I'm just saying, yeah, I mean, Leonard Tugels is a much better. People don't really know his name, but I have a feeling, Nathan, that in 2 weeks we're going to be talking about him winning Tour of Rwanda, where he's heading with his Belgian Pro Conti team. Saw some Belgian journalists were talking about him looking forward to a tremendous season, and esports really helped him.
That's amazing. Loving it. And that's what we're talking about, right? That esports
winner yesterday in Premier.
Exactly. Yeah. Esports is going to have this discovery process. Not just discovery, but you have this environment where you are training athletes to a very different level than you would otherwise in these like hyper intense situations. And I just don't think you can mimic that in any other way but what we've got from Chase and Pixels.
And it doesn't tell the entire story, right? But it is sort of like you distill it down to sort of like a little bit of a laboratory versus the in real life on the road test. This is, there's elements of heart. It's different when you're inside and versus outside. But you can get about 80% of the data that you need on an athlete off of Zwift as a director, just purely off of Zwift. And again, that athlete still, it is a quantum leap to be able to just make the power, make the watts versus having the nerve and the moxie to get in. I mean, just a Pro 1-2 American criteria going into corner after corner. It's not for everybody, believe me. As a matter of fact, it's not for most people. It takes a lot of nerve to do that. And if you're risk adverse, road racing is not going to be a good sport for you.
We've got the crucial points now in the race. It looks like happening right in front of us on both races. Noah Balch and Jordan Shane went to the front, set a 6.0 watt per kilogram at about the halfway mark, it looks like, and that's starting to break things apart. Jacob, as you said, from next, Brian Short coming across. Wouterswart following very well. Haney from Rule 5 is there, as well as Greg Grosicki. 5 seconds back now to try and make that easier. But I think Noah and Jordan are kind of going to separate themselves, similar to what we're seeing on the women's side of things. Elliott alongside of Rathwell Elliot's trying to break Rathwell right now with that feather power-up. WLC looking to try and take it on the day. Karina going backwards, perhaps from some of those matches that were burnt earlier. I think she's going to be looking to battle it out with Cameron here. This is the final kick to the line, and Elliot looks to be distancing herself from Megan Rathwell, from the Riot team. Rathwell unable to respond. The Canadian going backwards. No, 7 wants to kill them real quickly here, though. One last rally here coming from Megan. In both of the Discords, most likely a huge amount of screaming in their ears to get across.
Well, this reminds me of watching KK, Krista Kolchinsky, trying to chase back Ashley Moolman-Pasio, the reigning world champion. She got it down to about half a second. It was an unbelievable effort from KK, coming up just a little bit short. And I don't think Elliot will be caught here either, as Rathwell just has a little too much ground to make up. There's the finish line. This one is done and dusted. What a ride from Wahoo Cole today. Nathan, I think they may have done enough. The proof will be in the pudding. We'll see if the team's got enough points to beat Riot out here today and try to move over the top of Aeonian into a solid second place. Rathwell for second. How about this? This could go down as one of the great rides, as Karina Escueda with that technical fights back for third today.
After a technical, he is like somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds off the back, and then ends up.
Remembering 1K from the bottom of the climb, she climbed an extra K out here with the effort she made at the bottom of the climb.
Yeah, amazing effort there from the WLC rider. Here from I Race That Girl, going to be the first of them to come across the line. Rachel Lieberman going to try and hold on for 7th, but she's got Champagne right on her heels here. We're going to see if she can pop the cork across the line. Not sure it's going to happen.
You know what they say about e-racing? It's impossible to break up a group. Yeah. What a day. Champagne. Time to pop the cork. She pops the wattage cork there.
Makes it happen.
Lieberman right behind. Yep.
10th, Cryogen. First one for Gallopin. It looks like this is going to be Sarah Bishop in 11th place. She was a part of that chase group, and that's quite the comeback here to be dropped on the Titans Grove reverse. Be a part of that chase group, get back involved, and then end up in 11th place overall. Solid
She
effort
rode
here
her race.
OTR. Laura Perry there.
Yeah, she knows her stuff. But that's an athlete who has a lot of experience. Laura Perry, very active throughout the day. These points matter, by the way, as we're watching rider after rider coming through, but they're still actually in the thick of it because the points go very, very deep. The guys are down to about 1.5K to go. So Jordan is in pretty good shape here. You were right, Nathan. I mean, Jordan sitting on Noah Balk's wheel is in pretty good shape for the amount of time that he's let Noah set the pace, although your heart goes out to Noah starting to press on. Noah is starting to open up a gap. Balch is hit out for the top of the mountain, Nathan. I love his fighting spirit, but it's going to be cover and kill for the Canadian as Jordan Shane, he just shrugs that one off there. That really tells me it's Shane's day. I think Jordan's going to be really hard to beat.
I think he's just been following and waiting.
Oh, he has been.
Really being patient here because...
he knows how to race his bike. He's very smart. Not that Noah isn't, but just Jordan is really putting on a master class right now, isn't he?
Very similar athletes, actually, if you look at them toe-to-toe. Jordan's sprint, though, not even close. Jordan has to drop Noah. Has to.
I want to learn more about Noah.
It just will not happen.
And it seems like he knows that. That last surge there was an attempt to shake him, and he realized, you know what? I don't want to work so hard trying to drop Jordan that I lose second place. Because see how close these guys are behind him? So you mess around with Jordan too much, and all of a sudden you lose second and go back to 6th. Follow me?
I wonder what's going to happen here.
It gets so steep.
Jordan now, one last. This is his last ditch effort to try and get rid of Noah. Noah up in the 180s. Jordan now 175, 176. He's been waiting.
I'm surprised. So this is where Noah is taking an advantage right now. He's holding on. Come on, Noah.
Jordan here trying to break it. still pressing on. 177.
7.6, 7.7, 7.8. He's going to explode the top of the thermometer, but he can't get rid of Noah. Noah has latched onto that wheel like a pit bull holding onto a stake. He's not going to drop him. He's not going to be able to drop Noah. What a race. Oh, man, these two, now, and remember, a group not that far behind them.
Noah up into 184. I wonder if he's going to have the sprint.
They can't afford to play around, Nathan. They got to keep pushing.
Over the top here. 20 seconds to Wouter, though. I think they can see.
They'll be all right.
Yeah,
they're all right, actually.
Jordan backing
I thought
off
it was a
just
little closer
Is
than
Noah
that.
going to have a sprint is going to be my question, though. Oh, and he's got a feather power up. Jordan's going to have to kick immediately. Noah's got 10.7. And
he saved it. Noah Balch, you are a legend, my friend. How about that? So he didn't get suckered into using it when he was being attacked by Jordan. Nathan, that was really impressive today from Noah Balch.
Yes. Solid play all around.
Wouter for
ATP.
third.
Going to come through. Third place. It's a solid result.
Good job, Wouter, racing out of Arizona. Another perennial, as long as I've been doing esports commentary, Wouter has been out here. Jonathan Jacob of Next. Very strong rider. A lot of potential.
I actually raced with Tom Smith on Sunday night. We came to
How about ATP?
Together. We came to the line
so
together.
Smith is good.
I like this guy. He actually
right on.
He had an amazing ride actually in that 3-hour race that I did over the weekend because he was dropped. So there was these two amazing Japanese riders just demolishing us over the top. We did like a 138 over the forward KOM.
Wow.
They were pressing the pace like maniacs. He got dropped. Smith did. And clawed his... I just sat on. It was like America versus Japan. And I was like, I'm just going to sit on. I'm not doing anything. Smith claws his way back to us before we hit the Essies. And we come through the Essies. I open up my sprint. And well, actually, no, one of the Japanese riders went really, really early. We followed. Got dragged along. And then I open up my sprint. Tom's on my wheel. Bam, we go 1-2. It was a great ride, actually. So shout out to him now jumping out here and taking this. That was like a top 10 coming from Smith. These boys to the line now. Dowd going to take, looks like 20th just ahead, and that's going to be a top 20.
All right, so this does not end the season. There's 2 more races in the regular season for the ZRL WTRL. And then that moves us into the playoffs. So we still have plenty of racing, 4 more Mondays of racing to look forward to. These guys, so everyone can always go to WTRL.racing to see all of the results throughout yet another incredible day. We've got 1 more round of racing. Kate Bates will be joining us from Australia as we'll pick up. These are the results from America's East Division 1 Women's. Congratulations going out to Natasha Elliott. Look at all the Canadian flags up here as well. So Natasha, that was well earned. 4.5 watts per kilo out there today for the Wahoo Lacole Americas team, taking the win. Megan Rathwell for Riot for second. I don't know, Riot. This is interesting. It goes back and forth here with Karina Esqueda for Wahoo Lacole in third, taking the bronze medal. Claire Cameron in fourth. Michelle Jean in fifth for Les Watt sisters. They had Natalie Champagne in sixth. It's a good day for them. ATP Racing Stingers with Rachel Lieberman seventh. Emily Arcuri for CC2 eighth. Kristen Yaks of Aeonian Dynamis in at ninth. And then Judy Ann Park of Cryogen Gallopin rounding out your top 10. And that's the A women. Nathan, back to you for the Bs.
I just want to highlight something really quickly here. If you look at this with Wahoo Lacole, and then you look at this screen with Wahoo Lacole, I think they probably pulled it off today, right? Look at Skoda, Perry, Elliott, right? And then they had those results out there today as well. So I have a feeling this was their day. They showed us that they know how to climb, and it was probably one that they marked for the calendar, I would think. So solid.
Didn't come
result.
easy.
No, and I have a feeling we're going to have to wait for anything from any of the other categories for a little while.
Well, they know where to go. WTRL.racing. Don't crash the site, please.
No about says it taking it down there. 42.45. It's going to be Jordan Shane, 135. Walter Zwart, 21 seconds back, followed by Jonathan Jacob from the next level there. Tim Smith, made 60 Racing Oxygen there, 37 seconds back. Michael Croner there, 42.69 for 6th there. Alexander Gagne, Michael Canyon coming on through for a restart there, 43 seconds back for 7th. Gregory Gosicki for next level. In for 8th, it's going to be Evan Haney there for that Rule 5. Harden the F up. And then Gerardo Hernandez.
Excuse me?
10. Well, do you know the rules?
That's right.
Rule 5. Rule 5, people. Actually, I got told Rule 5 so much for Zwifting, but then it's like, once people go Zwift, it's like, they go do Zwift, it's like, maybe this is the Rule 5. Maybe this is, maybe riding outside in the cold isn't Rule 5, it's just stupid.
Yeah. On ice? Yeah, are you kidding?
I mean, I don't mind fat biking. Fat biking's great here, but I kind of like keeping these extremities. I've almost lost them too many times. So
it's interesting. Fat biking really settled in. It's like, it's good for what it is. It can't completely replace, because a big part of cycling is the feeling of speed too. But certainly I'm a fan of fat biking as well.
Well,
certainly
I mean, the fat biking world, they also get really into like mega endurance events, which seems like kind of
sort of like the Iditarod kind of thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. You got Iditarod. What's the one across Minnesota? I forget. That's not what we're thinking. There's another one across Minnesota that recently happened. Polar Roll was this past week, and Jordan Wakely won by like 10 minutes or something. Insane. That was up in UP of Michigan. So there's definitely a super solid. It may not be in the same.
It's a subculture.
It's not in the media level. I'll say that. And I do point at the media about this. It's not on the media level of the other cycling disciplines, but it's not for lack of popularity within the niches of cycling, in my opinion.
It's got core.
It has this huge social media following. I mean, what they're doing up there in the UP with that whole Polar Roll and all these different events that are going on there, they've got this crazy following. Like, if you want to get into the events, it's like Iceman or some of these other, like, you got to be there ready when they open up registration, because bam, it's gone. Like, it's kind of no joke. So when it comes to participation, it's there. It's just, it's hard to get cameras, I think, out there. It's hard to pay any attention, get somebody there to talk to somebody about it.
It's one of those things. It's about doing and experiencing, not watching people do it on TV.
That's true. Yeah, it would be really interesting to watch somebody on the fence.
Yeah. Not really. Yeah. But it's something. It's like it becomes. It's a niche lifestyle sport. I fully get it. They probably right now somewhere there's a group of fat bikers sitting over hot cocoa talking about us doing esports. So
laughing at us. Trust
laughing
me.
At us, right? So
look, Broken Spoke is a little split. I think my team on what is what, right? Like, there's a lot of people jumping on the Zwift, liking it, clubbing it, and some of them are like, what is going on here? Like, who are you guys? Because it's like a mountain biker, fat biker for sure. Yeah. Like, who are you guys?
Great example.
What is happening here? Like, trying to bring them over has been interesting. But then when they see the fitness, though, they go, but those who just don't care about fitness and just want to drink their beers, it's a little bit different.
This actually really reminds me of when I got into cycling, Nathan, because the sport, it was such an eclectic group all the way from hippies and counterculture people to doctors and lawyers, and from students to people who were wealthy to people who were scraping together money to make entry fees. It was just this huge spectrum. And I think that that's part of what made it special, is the one thing that we all agree on. We can, politically, socially, ethically, just all over the place, but we all agree that bicycles are awesome. And that's a good place to start, to share one common love. And then you learn to respect people for their differences, because you're like, look, if Nathan likes bikes, he can't be that bad, right?
Appreciate that. We'll see. I don't know. All right, everybody.
You do like bikes, right?
I do like bikes. I do like bikes.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's where we start, right? The most basic assumption. You like bikes. I guess you're okay.
Share a common love. and you'd be amazed at how
Oh
much
my
you
God.
can.
I don't know if that philosophy works out on bikes, though. I'm not sure if that works out. Hey, I appreciate everybody hanging out in chat, guys. Thanks a lot. Make sure to hit those follow buttons, subscribe, like, comment. It helps out a ton with the channel. We're going to be back in about an hour for the America's West with Kate Bates sitting in my spot. Dave's going to be hanging out, telling us about how to solve the world's problems through the power of
I'm
bicycles.
going to go get a taco.
He's going to go get a
Get a
taco,
taco.
sounds like, and he's going to start on Spaceballs. That's what his homework is right now, right? He needs to get
funny.
Loaded up.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube for free to watch. So I've got
There
no
we
excuse.
go.
I'll watch it
There
after.
we go. You'll know what I mean by giving you the raspberry now for not knowing what Spaceballs is all about. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in about an hour. Appreciate you as always. Right on.